It's moving day at the Tour Championship. Tommy Fleetwood on 18 for birdie in the solo lead, but misses it just to the right. He would tap it in for par. Fleetwood sitting at -16, tied for the lead in the clubhouse after 54 holes. This Tour Championship recap is presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Play your game. I'm joined now by CBS Sports golf analysts Rick Gehman and Doug Bell. Guys, at the beginning of the week, Tommy Fleetwood acknowledged it would be funny if he got his first win on the PGA Tour at the Tour Championship, a win that would also secure the FedEx Cup for Fleetwood. He's currently at 16 under, tied with Patrick Cantlay for the lead after 54 holes. And now this is the fourth time in his career, third time this season that he's had the 54-hole lead or co-lead after moving day. Rick, you got to think this is the Katherine Heigl, always the bridesmaid, 27 dresses of the PGA. So what is your reaction to Fleetwood being in this spot yet again?
Yeah, I bet he does think it's funny, as he'd be laughing all the way to the bank with an extra $10 million in the account if he ends up winning this week. But listen, we are about to find out once again what Tommy Fleetwood is made of on a Sunday. You know, Doug and I were both in Memphis a couple of weeks ago when that tournament was his to lose. And he just kind of went out there and got very tight down the stretch, gave up a couple of strokes, and he watched some of the best players in the world chase him down. You have to be nearly perfect to win on the PGA Tour. We see it week in and week out. I love the way that Tommy has played over the first 54. I love everything he said. I've loved everything that we've gotten from him in 2025, but it is very different when we get to the back nine on Sunday, because he's going to be faced with shots like this one on 15, which gobbled up a ball in the water from a third of the field on this third round on Saturday. So there's going to be a lot of tough shots that he's going to have to hit, but I'm at least cautiously optimistic Tommy Fleetwood can get the job done.
Rick, I don't know about you, but my stomach just dropped when he hit in the water there at 15, and it was like, oh my gosh, did he do it again? But then, as you mentioned, 11 players in the water today at 15. It was the toughest hole, 7 double bogeys in that hole, and then he showed me a ton when he birdied 16, birdied 17, almost closed with a hat trick. So it was a great close, great comeback for Tommy Fleetwood, and that showed me a lot. Again, golf is obviously a physical game, but it's such a mental game, and I think the way he bounced back will serve him well heading into the final round, which, by the way, I'm so excited about the final round. This change in format, Madeline, wow. We're in store for something special tomorrow. Definitely grab the popcorn. As we mentioned, Fleetwood, the co-leader alongside Patrick Cantlay. Now, just a week ago, a reporter interviewing Scottie Scheffler name-checked the possibility of Cantlay winning the FedEx Cup as an example of what is wrong with the system. But the World 24, 16 under, the co-leader in the clubhouse. Rick, what's impressed you from Cantlay?
Maybe a little bit of bulletin board material for Patrick. And I look at his stat profile for this week, and specifically in this third round, and he's been doing it with 2 different facets of his game. He was an approach maniac in the third round. He picked up 3 shots to the field with his second shot, and then he rolled in every single putt, which is really vintage Patrick Cantlay, and it really speaks to some of the work that he's done recently with new putting coach Phil Kenyon, and we're starting to see maybe the return on that work, because he has put himself into a great position to win his second FedEx Cup. And I mean, no better time to get hot, Madeline. I was looking through the numbers. Patrick Cantlay picked up about 5.5 shots to the field in terms of strokes gained Saturday. That is the best round of 2025 for him. So very good time to have your best round of the year on the eve of trying to close out the Tour Championship and thus the FedEx Cup.
Hey, Rick, you're right on. It's about time for that putter to wake up, and Patrick Cantlay has putted this week kind of like he did when he won the FedEx Cup and won. It's been 3 years, right, when he won the BMW. So, yeah, this is the old Patrick Cantlay. You know, it's amazing when you think a player of his caliber missed the last 3 cuts at the major championships, the PGA, the U.S. Open, the Open Championships, and that's how the superstars really calibrate their year. He's disappointed, but I'm telling you, if he wins the Tour Championship, gets the call from Keegan, which I think he will, to be on the Ryder Cup team, it'll be a terrific comeback year for Patrick Cantlay, but he knows better than anybody else. Man, there's still a long 4 hours to go tomorrow to secure that deal.
A lot of grass to be golfed in that one right there, but it cannot be overstated, the importance of the short game. We've got to talk about Russell Henley, though, another player in the mix, another player whose short game really has been a factor here. So, Doug, how impressed are you with what we've seen from Henley at East Lake?
Madeline, not surprised. Here's a guy who loves playing. He's from Georgia, so he loves playing in Georgia, loves the Bermuda grass, grew up on it, loves the heat and humidity, and he's having a great year. He won the Arnold Palmer Invitational. He secured his automatic pick for the Ryder Cup team. So not a surprise he's there. And of those 6 names, I really believe it's a 6-horse race tomorrow. Everybody's going to be talking about everybody else. And Henley often gets overlooked, but they shouldn't. His short game is spectacular. And I'm just telling you, don't sleep on Russell Henley when it comes to putting, too. I think Fleetwood is now #1 strokes gained for the week, but Russell Henley is right behind him. His putter is always a weapon as you look at his round today. Solid day for Russell Henley.
Yeah, I thought this was a resilient day. It was clearly not his best round. It's, in fact, 69. It's his worst round of the week, but he has still only missed 6 fairways this week. Not 6 fairways today, 6 fairways this week. He is leading the field in driving accuracy. That gives you a big advantage at Eastlake for a few reasons. Not only do you have that thick rough that causes a lot of issues, it's been wet all week long, but we've played preferred lies, lift, clean, in place for the first 3 days. So Russell Henley, more than anybody else, has been able to pick up his ball, clean it, and put it right down into a spot that he likes. And when you do that as an elite iron player, which is what Russell Henley is, you can take dead aim at a lot of these flags, especially with the more receptive greens that we've seen this week. So I think if you're Russell Henley, you're hoping for maybe another overnight storm and we can get preferred lies again on Sunday. I think his worst round is behind him, and Russell Henley, to Doug's point, has a really good chance of winning this golf tournament.
Another player who's definitely always got a chance, world #1, Scottie Scheffler. I mean, he did struggle out the gate, though. It's the first time he's had an opening round with consecutive bogeys or worse since 2023's PGA Championship. It has been 185 rounds. So despite the slow start, though, Scheffler still tied for 4th after moving day. Trying to become the first player to win the Tour Championship in consecutive years. So, Doug, what is your reaction to the world #1's play at Eastlake this week?
Well, I said don't sleep on Russell Henley. Don't sleep on world #1 in a similar position that he was last week. Now, he won't be playing in the final group, and he won't be trying to catch the guy he's playing with. But, again, Scottie Scheffler, it's pretty amazing, 20 consecutive rounds in the 60s. I mean, think about that. It really is phenomenal golf that he's putting forth, that we're witnessing. We need to enjoy it. And listen, Eastlake is not his favorite golf course, but I wouldn't put it past him to roar from behind tomorrow. In fact, a player of his caliber, I think, prefers coming from behind as opposed to trying to protect the lead. So look out for Scottie. I think the putter's starting to heat up, guys, and that could be trouble for everybody else.
Yeah, if the putter does heat up, everybody else is in big trouble, to Doug's point. And he missed a couple of shorter ones, putts that he probably looks at as he should have made. We saw the frustration again out of Scottie Scheffler, slap in the face of his putter when he missed finally his kind of 3rd makeable putt in a row. But the phrase that comes to mind so often with Scottie Scheffler is his bounce back ability. We see it all the time. After a bad round to a good round, after he makes a bogey, he immediately gets it back. He made those 2 very uncharacteristic bogeys out of the gate on 1 and 2, and he erased them with birdies on 3 and 4. I think that we have not seen Scottie Scheffler's best stuff yet. I think there's maybe a 63 out there for him. Maybe there's a 62 out there for him. And the crowd will be behind Tommy until Scottie gets involved in this. And then when Scottie gets involved in this, I think we're going to see a lot of pro-Scottie patrons around Eastlake tomorrow and see if they can will him back to the FedEx Cup Championship.
I think we're all here for the narrative, right? Tommy would be such a great story, but Scottie, hard not to root for, right? Rick Gehman, Doug Bell, thanks so much for the insight.
Thanks, Madeline.
For more great golf content, check out The Early Wedge. The Sportsline crew has you covered 5 times a week. Get DFS lineups, pre-tournament picks, and live wagering. Watch The Early Wedge live on the Sportsline YouTube channel or find episodes in the Early Edge podcast feed. Get it wherever you get your podcasts. Coming up, can Tommy Fleetwood hold on for the win? We look ahead to the final round of the Tour Championship. That's next, right here on CBS Sports HQ. Well, wrapping up moving day at the Tour Championship, let's take a look at the leaderboard. Patrick Cantlay and Tommy Fleetwood, leaders in the clubhouse at 16 under. World #1 Scottie Scheffler, though, 4 strokes back. How will things shake out on Sunday? This Tour Championship preview is presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Play your game. Back here with Rick Gehman and Doug Bell. Guys, one final day of play at the 2025 Tour Championship. Tommy Fleetwood enters Sunday with the co-lead here. It's been a bit damp at East Lake, but at least not very windy. So, Doug, what are your expectations from the course on Sunday?
Well, if you miss the fairways, you're going to pay the piper because the rough is wet and gnarly. It's going to lead to double bogeys. So we'll see what happens. You need to avoid landing in the water at 15. And I will tell you, 15, 16, 17, and 18, since they flipped the nines about 4 years ago, it makes for a very exciting finish. And let's not forget Keegan Bradley now. Here's a guy. Should he pick himself for the Ryder Cup team? If he wins tomorrow, it's a no-doubter. He's going to pick himself. So there's great drama there. Cameron Young trying to earn a spot on the team. This is what we want, guys, when we change the format to just regular stroke play. We want drama. It'll be great theater, incredible drama tomorrow in the final round. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Yeah, the drama, I think, comes from the range of outcomes that you can get here. I mean, even on Saturday, we saw a round of 63, and we saw multiple rounds of 77. So 14-shot difference in a 30-man field. And that's kind of what East Lake is giving us right now. I've been out here all week. The golf course is absolutely saturated. It's playing very long. Doug's point about hitting it into the rough is absolutely correct. It's a huge problem. We've got holes that are gettable, but we've got, let's see, there was 0 birdies made on number 1 in round 3. There was 1 birdie made on number 7. 15 had 10 or 11 golf balls end up in the water. I mean, it is truly a minefield out here, but then you can get on a pretty good run, like we've seen a couple of guys do, rattle off 3 or 4 birdies in a row. So that's why you're seeing that range of outcomes. So I expect to see more of that. I like the way that Doug put it, drama. It sounds much more exciting than a range of outcomes or volatility or anything like that. Drama sounds a lot more fun.
A lot of drama. You mentioned the struggles even on 1. We're not even the lack of birdies, but greens and regulation are at a really low clip as well. So a lot of question marks. Really seems like anyone's tournament right here. But, you know, Tommy Fleetwood, of course, a big storyline going into this one. If you're Tommy Fleetwood's caddy, Rick, what are you telling him ahead of this final round?
I don't know, Madeline, because if I was Tommy Fleetwood's caddy, I would have tried everything in my bag by now, right? I would have tried about 5 or 6 different things that haven't gotten us across the finish line. But seriously, what I would tell him is, listen, we were just in this exact same situation 2 weeks ago in Memphis. And I think that the freshness of those feelings is good in this scenario. It's not going to feel like it's been a really long time since he's felt uncomfortable and anxious and whatever else he was going through on that Sunday in Memphis. It's going to be fresh. And I think in this scenario, you just look back at that and say, okay, we've been here before. We know these feelings. Let's get comfortable being uncomfortable. Let's go out there and hit some golf shots. So I think because of the most recent, I'll say failures, but I mean, finishing on the podium of a playoff event is not a failure. But if not coming through with a victory is fresh, and in this scenario, I actually think it's going to be good for Tommy Fleetwood to get right back in the moment.
Ian Finese is his caddy, and he's about 6'7", an Englishman, and Tommy's about 5'7". So when they're walking next to each other, it's really kind of a funny picture. And Ian doesn't say much. In fact, there's some that felt at the Travelers Championship he should have spoke up more and gotten Tommy the right club there. If you remember, the 72nd hole didn't come through and lost that. But they're a nice team. It would be a big deal for Ian too if he can come through. He's been on the back for Tommy for several of his wins on the DP World Tour, and we'll see if their team can get it done on Sunday.
One person that always finds a way to get it done is world number 1, Scottie Scheffler. He's sitting 4 shots back, so not really someone you can count out just yet. Doug, how comfortable should the leaders feel about entering Sunday with Scheffler kind of in the hunt right there?
They should be very uncomfortable. And listen, they look at the scoreboard. They know he's the best of the best right now. There's no denying that. And when they see the scoreboard, and if he starts making a little mini run tomorrow in the first 9, They get tight. There's no doubt about it. It's human nature. When the best in the business is coming at you, coming from behind, you get tight, you hit in the rough, you realize, oh my goodness, and it all starts just going crazy for you. So, yeah, he's going to be out there. And again, watch for Scotty. He opens with bogey today, which is really unusual for him. But if he starts birdie, or maybe birdies 4 of his first 6, look out. The field will get very, very nervous.
Objects in mirror are closer than they appear.
Yes.
That is Scotty Scheffler, and everybody looking back at him on this leaderboard. Doug is right. I mean, these multiple shot swings out here. Scotty Scheffler shot a 66 on Saturday, and we could play this game for everybody. Could have been a 62, should have been a 62. Very rare to bogey this first 2. Missed a couple of very makeable putts coming in. We saw the frustration. Hit a lot of good putts that touched the lip and didn't drop. Scotty Scheffler is going to have a lot of support, particularly early in his round on Sunday, as this crowd is going to try to spur him to victory. And if he gets into the mix, if he's 1 or 2 shots back on the back 9, you've got guys with a history of maybe struggling a little bit down the stretch in Tommy Fleetwood or Patrick Cantlay, who's coming off the best round of his year. Is he really going to back that up with another good one? There are reasons to think that the top of the leaderboard should be very, very concerned about the #1 player in the world just a couple of shots back.
A lot of drama entering the final day at East Lake. The last 7 Tour Championship winners have come out of the final pairing, though. So, Rick, does that trend continue on Sunday with either Fleetwood or Cantlay?
I am not happy about it. I'm not comfortable. But I'm going to roll with Tommy here. And I just look at his body of work in 2025. He's been probably a top 3 or 4 player in the world. As far as guys go who haven't won in 2025, he's by far the best player in the world who hasn't gotten a victory here this season. So I think that win luck is about to turn around. I think that Tommy is going to feel the same things he felt 2 weeks ago, and I think that's good in this scenario. I think that he survives this. I think Tommy is the one hosting the FedEx Cup, but trust me, I am not comfortable at all with that selection.
It's a 6-horse race. There's no doubt about it. And Secretariat is Scotty Scheffler. So, again, he may be passing the crew there down the home stretch. But I got to go with Rick. Listen, Tommy Fleetwood is 3rd in strokes gained off the tee. And for the entire playoffs, he's been the most accurate driver. So that's a great scenario for him. Just keep hitting fairways. He's 11 under on the par 4s at East Lake. That's huge because the par 4s are challenging. And here's the most important thing. He's #1 in strokes gained putting. He's the best putter for the week. He's hit over 360 feet of putts for 3 rounds. That is mind-boggling in PGA Tour standards. So I think Tommy Fleetwood busts the door down tomorrow. His first win will be the Tour Championship and the FedEx Cup and $10 million. Now that would be a great story.
What a dramatic finish that would be, especially for a guy who started the week talking about how funny it would be if we saw it happen. Maybe Tommy Fleetwood takes the time to catch the bouquet and go from the bridesmaid to the bride and win this one. Rick Gehman, Doug Bell, thanks so much for the insight.
Thanks, Madeline.
Now here's a look at the odds to win the Tour Championship. Tommy Fleetwood, of course, a great narrative and the favorite now at +160. He's followed closely by his co-leader in the clubhouse, Patrick Cantlay, at +190. And then there's world #1 Scotty Scheffler, along with Russell Henley at +550. We're set for a thrilling finish at East Lake on Sunday.